Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do get started, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happening. Deku, he's finally been brought into the action, and he's done something that someone thought was impossible. Now, Deku, he met back up with his team. He told them quite a few things, where it does come down to exactly who he is. A lot of people have heard about his fight with Muscular. Some people do believe it, some people don't believe it, and others are skeptical on whether or not it's just something that actually happened. I mean, Izuku Midoriya is a name that's gone around. People know he's been associated with the family before he went to UA. But all they really know is he was trained by Mirako and Aizawa. Along with that, he's gotten combat experience from Mirio. Those three are a deadly combination. And he ran missions before. If you did try to look into this kid, you wouldn't really find much. All you would know is what you have found. Records weren't really held very well. In Izuku, yeah. Now that he was able to be deployed, he managed to prove to a lot of people the rumor about Muscular may not be false, especially after he managed an assassination on a Hawks, Endeavor's fourth in command. Now, well, I really should be saying fifth. Now then, with that being said, Deku, he managed to decapitate Hawks whenever they were parachuting into the city. Supplies were coming down in parachutes, and it was the middle of the night. The man was distracted and trying to take on a lot of things all at once. Deku managed to blitz him and catch him with a blade in the suit of his leg. The man had his head parted from his shoulders. And then Deku came strutting into camp like a prized rooster, especially with one hell of a shiny rock in his beak. A lot of people, they saw him. And after hearing he was the Izuku Midoriya they've been hearing about, yeah, he just cleared the sky. Ingenium was proud of him, and he heard that Shinso, they don't know where he's at. Right now, they're trying to gather the supplies that were dropped into the city and see about what they can do. They've got to feed their own people before looking after the civilians. If the Endeavor family does attack, then that will get way more complicated. Now then, we do have the next morning. Deku is currently laying in his battlesuit, and he does have a lot going through his mind. He woke up, and he heard about breakfast being passed around. He got an MRE. He was shown how to prepare it, and he managed to sit down with a few other people. And some of them were talking about the events of last night. They were quite surprised about what happened. Some do want to hear it from Deku's point of view. Others are quite intrigued to talk about what they experienced in the middle of the battlefield. Bakugo, he himself even talked about how he was fighting off the feathers, and then the next thing he does see is just boom. This massive burst of blood, and it misting through the air. All he saw was the sheen of a blade, and that was it. And Deku does get to sit there. Right now, leaning forwards and eating some macaroni and cheese. Talking about it. He was distracted. It was all really just that. Not just that, though. He's pretty sure Ragdoll is gonna owe him. Really? You really gonna pay that chick the 30%? Maybe. I might just do it just to fuck with her. That's a lot of money, dude. I know. Though I'm fairly certain I might get a phone call about it. But I gotta figure out how much the guy was worth. I mean, we could probably send the body back to the family, right? That would be best. Midnight can probably make you a trophy. But what would you get from him? His wings, duh. Yeah, that sounds like it's about right. Deku holding up one of the red feathers he has sticking in his belt, talking about it. These things are pretty cool, though. I mean, they're pretty. Plus, him going to gesture to his battlesuit. They're kind of sharp. Yeah, they are. But, I mean, you know what you're gonna do with the money? I mean, I basically just paid off my house. But, I don't know. That's all up in the air. I might just save it. I kind of have other people at my house to deal with certain things, so there's that. Though I gotta make a bit of a phone call. Figure something out. Actually, someone patting Deku on the shoulder, and he does a turn as someone does express. Them with the head, well, their body, their head being the body of a centipede. And the man does express that Ingenium does wish to talk to him, finish up his breakfast, and go. The man's got some coffee on, so there's that. Deku nodding his head. And he does go to wolf down his food and go to turn. Him going to pull something out and go to munch down on it as he does it a walk. Him making his way over into the building and stepping in. A number of people do get to see him. Untamed hair, bedhead, and, well, the suit that does have a number of identifying factors. His name, the number 1. Now, someone is there to greet him, them leading him over and beginning to express. Reno Deku following behind the woman. And Ingenium does have a lot he does wish to talk with him about. She's been informed that right now the most important thing is the bounty, along with possible tactical advantages he does bring to the table, since he managed to do something they thought was not likely. Him nodding his head. Her going to open the door and gesture him inside. And when he does a step in, he does go to see Ingenium and Tamaki sitting at a table. And the two, they do have cups of coffee, a pot, and quite a few things sitting out scattered. Right now, a digital map of the city on the table in front of them. And he does it a walkover. Him standing before being told to sit. Doing so and being poured a cup. Ingenium sliding it over to him and expressing. Now, this is currently a bit of a closed meeting. Him turning to his secretary and waving her off. And she does it a bow and turn, quickly leaving the room. The door clicking closed and locked. Deku turning back. Tamaki nodding his head as he is munching on a piece of dried jerky. And he does express. So what's up? There's a lot going on. With what you've done, you provide us a good advantage, but we have one question. Can you fly? I can. Yeah. Good. That's good for us to know. Tamaki does get to say. Him expressing, pulling something up from his belt and going to stuff it into his mouth. Gesturing with the jerky in his other hand at Deku. Right now, they're expecting quite a lot to go down. With the city in disarray, the Endeavor family has been trying to push in more. As he saw last night, the sky has been clearing up a bit. Make no mistake, things are getting a bit better because of the wind. And with summer close to rolling around, the heat, it will be hard on them. They'll need more water. But most importantly, there's one other factor. What? The winds are blowing in the opposite direction. If they shift back, we're expecting ash to start raining on us again. The Endeavor faction burns a lot of things. They've already burned down a few blocks of this city, and they'll keep trying to burn more. Dobby is a main target. If you can take him down, that'd be beneficial to us. Very good. I see. So what do you think that I can do? Well, that's just it. We'd like you to do something good. Like with Hawks. Speaking of him looking at Tamaki. And he does go to have a sour expression on his face talking about it. They'd like to ask him to donate some of Hawks' body. Just enough for a few slices. A few slices? Yeah. If I eat some of him, I might be able to gain his quirk. For a short period of time. It's complicated to explain. Wow. That's a little. Yeah. There's far too much to explain about my powers. But if it works, then we can turn that against them. They've got mercenaries, and we haven't even seen what some of them can do. What's more, they have a Nomu. They have a fucking Nomu? Yes. We're hoping that you can take that one down as well. Well, the boss. He's been a bit adamant about dealing with Dr. Ujiko. He wishes to buy in bulk and, well, they're not ready yet. The man's been adamant that he's got a few other projects going on, and he might not be able to sell for a few weeks. What do you mean? So you're saying they bought this one months ago? We don't know. He's been busy for a while. We've got people keeping an eye on him. If something goes on with him, we'll know it. He likes to stay in one place. Though, when he moves, we got people watching him, looking out for him. Good? Yes. Very good. Now, kid, listen. If there is an attack today, we need you on the front line. You can do patrols. Check around the city. We heard from Night Eye that you're familiar with this place. Am I correct on that? I used to live here. So you know this place. I do. Good. If you can, do some patrols. We're missing quite a few people from the arrival. But if we can find them, find their bodies, any trace of them, that'd be good too. Take some people and go out on patrol. You should be able to come back around noon, take a break for some lunch, get some rest, and head back out. Right now, just be on high alert. These orders are coming directly from us in command. As for what to do with Hawks, he'll be put on ice and sent back when possible. Night Eye knows you killed him, and he's mentioned that he might need to talk to you. If you can, make a phone call. Him nodding. Before he does, go to sip his coffee and go to ask a question. About how he even would go about claiming that? Oh, right. You're still young. Anyways, you would call Night Eye. He'd make a, claim to the bounty. Then they'd either have some sort of evidence, some sort of piece of the body, or preferably the head. Some sort of indicator, and if you can, photo evidence or video evidence. But those can be, so they're not reliable. Your claim's more flimsy before the family either reveals they're dead or it slips that they're dead. Almost like what happened with Toshi. A number of people have tried to claim his bounty, but no one knows who actually killed him. Right. Do you guys have any leads on that? No, we don't. But it's more complicated. I need leads. Kid, calm down. You better go, kid. I don't know why you're so concerned about that. But I'm concerned because my father's dead. I see. Your father? I see. My little brother's statement makes a bit more sense now. Deku staring at Ingenium. The man's tired. The man is staring down at his cup of coffee, trying to figure out the next set of words that should come out of his mouth. Deku going to down his cup and go to stand. Expressing. He'll make some phone calls, and if he can, he'll go out on patrol. Though, if something does happen and an attack does occur, he'll try to focus on the Nomu. And if he can, he will try to focus on that Dabi guy they talk about. Do they have a description? Ingenium going to snap back to reality and look up. Going to open a folder and go to slide a few photos across. And Deku, he does it a turn. Right now, spreading some of them out and getting a good look at a number of individuals. Being told, right now, this is what Endeavor's top 10 people do look like. It's a little so-and-so with Hawkstead. No one knows who's going to be the new number 10, but this is Dabi right here. This is Crust. People call this man Wolfren over here. This guy is Traject. He pairs well with Endeavor, or any person who does have an inertia-based ability, some sort of way to move. Over here, that's Gang Orca. Big stubborn bastard. Subsonics, nasty shit you don't want to deal with. I once heard he turned a guy's brain to mush, and all he did was just stare him down in his fist. Strong enough to crush a man's skull. This over here, this is Endeavor's other son. He has more than 2? Yep. This is Natsuo Todoroki. As far as we understand, he's logistics. But we don't know what else. He may be involved as a combatant, but no one's seen him on the battlefield. His bounty is relatively low. And from our own standing, he's unimportant. This guy here, though, Tiger, he can be a little feisty. Though, pardon my language, he's more of a big pussy. How'd you get that example? Well, if he knows he can win, he's willing to fight. He tries to avoid fighting alone. And if possible, he likes to have backup. So everyone gave him the nickname, and unfortunately for him, it's too funny not to stick. This over here, I've heard of this guy. Night Eye told me about a few different targets. He's a Todoroki by marriage, not blood, right? Right on the money. Hopefully, you'll be able to get that money again. This is what we know about Endeavor's people. His second in command him tapping a photo, holding it up, and expressing, "Is this feisty beauty right here, Burnin?" She is believed to be very closely connected to the Endeavor family. She's loyal, and that is good. Though, the family's also hired some mercenaries. So if things do go out of control, just know they haven't hired any for this mission. Mercenaries? They're really that fucking stupid to go against the Yagis? Yeah, Endeavor's trying to pay them some pretty good money. Though, if you do run into one, go ahead and don't be so bad about beating them around. Right. Do you know anything about Ryoko's people? Not much. We know some about her top 5. Her top 10 are more closely held to the chest. And Genist? We know some, but that's mainly from information we've gathered over the years. Ryoko likes to keep to herself. Genist is flashy. Endeavor's loud and proud. Right. Can you give me the number for... Never mind, I'll just figure it out. If I can, I'll call Nezu. He might be able to explain it better. That'd be best. Deku standing and going to take his leave, walking out into the hallway and going to pull out his phone. Right now, making a phone call to Sir Night Eye. And Deku does walk down the corridor and go to step in to a open room, closing the door behind him and looking around. Before he does go to hear it connect. Congratulations. You've defied my expectations, young man. That's good, isn't it? Are you alone? Yes. Him giving the room a critical gaze, staring a little long in every spot his eyes do go to scrutinize. Now, I don't need to tell you that this is quite an interesting achievement. Thank you. The body should be coming back whenever it can be. As for what we understand about the Endeavor faction, it's interesting. He has 3 sons. He also has a daughter. Though, I have plans that I currently am not previewing you to today. But in the near future, if we can push into Endeavor's territory, that would be best. And yes, young man, before you do ask, you may not go bum rushing. I see. If you were to try, do you want to know the best outcome I feel may happen to you? I'm caught off guard? No, you're captured and filleted alive before you're burned. One of the better outcomes is you being killed quickly. Another one is them attempting to try and turn you against us. That's a very bad one for reasons I do not believe I need to explain to you. And the third one is, well, he attempts to try and use you. Brings you to Dr. Ujiko and allows the man to cut you open. See what makes you tick. He does like to be neutral, but he is highly fascinated in what you are. If he does discover that you have multiple quirks, that will be enough for him to put you under the knife and carve you up. I see. That's disturbing. Yes, it is. Now, make sure if you are to go into an assault, you have people to cover your back. Mr. Kotsky and your current combat group should be good. We are talking about sending in reinforcements now that the sky is cleared. We believe that that is a good point when you and the others should have a frontal assault. They know to attack every time you might be resupplied. But with one coming so soon, It should be easy enough. When will it be? 2 weeks, possibly 3. But they are expecting about a month to pass. They may not give you that time. You may encounter minor skirmishes, but that will be that. One big assault may not come for a while. They may try something desperate, though. I see. So how does the bounty system work? How do I get that money to my account? Call Nezu. It's quite simple, though. You prove you killed the man, you send in something definitive, they DNA test it, and that's that. I see. Yes. Dr. Ujiko may be able to help, but he is involved partially with the process. Yeah, I don't like how everything's coming back to this doctor. He is a neutral third party, Izuku. UA is a neutral third party as well. Your bounties would have to go through one in order to be legitimate. Someone can't come knocking to your front door, can they? You got a point. Good. Now, was that all? Yes, sir. Hey, I'm gonna hang up. And Deku does call Nezu. And the man, he was sitting down drinking some tea. And when he does get to see his phone begin to ring, he does look a little annoyed. But that oh so familiar caller ID does make him pick up the phone. Hello, hello, dearest customer. What can I do for you? Nezu? Yes. Before you do ask, direct line. Client privilege, especially for premium clients. I take it something went wrong? Or are you calling for some other reason? I take it you know? Yes, I have. The Yagis have been flaunting that victory for a while. Anyways, now as for how this process does go, Nada explained most of it. I see. Did he explain all of it? No. You transfer money into a separate account that you do create. You lock that account and then hand over the credentials to us. Everything except the password. Once you do feel comfortable and confirm this man is dead, then you are able to hand off the password to the person who killed your target. But we hand over the credentials once we confirm it on our end. You verify it yourself and feel satisfied with the work this person has done. They take the money, get access to the account, you are locked out, and that money is no longer yours. It is their legal property, and we are there to confirm the system works. Do you take a cut? No. We do feel that it is mutually beneficial, though, that we do offer special services to those who do feel like they do need it. Many people often do come here for quite a lot of things. We are more trusted than the masquerade. Or that silly little doctor. Our services do come at a small fee, though. There's the catch. Yes, well, business may not be free, but it is cheaper. We do find that a number of clients, they do use our services, medical especially. Everyone does. At one point, you want the premium treatment, and you might even like our hot springs. Everyone comes through, be it to fight, fuck, or flee. I see. I have 2 marks I want to place. Now there's a surprise. May I ask who? No. Let me guess. From UA, correct? People you've combated before? Or are you trying to place a mark on Endeavor? Because that one is significantly trickier. Marks on enemy bosses are hard to understand. That gets into a whole more complicated number of fees. No, it's not on Endeavor. But it is on a Todoroki. I want Shoto Todoroki dead. I want Monoma dead. You know his last name, I don't care about his first. But that blonde little shit and that bastard, I want them both. $125 million each. I see. Not even half your bounty. Half? Yours went up. I see. How much am I worth? 350 million. Same as the mark on Hawks. Congratulations on making it to the big leagues, young man. Now go ahead, killer. Do you wish to confirm that? I can start getting things set up. But I will need a transaction directly from you. We do offer, during certain circumstances for some clients, to set up payment interest for them, and even information such as this. I see. I can get it set up. Actually, no, I can't. I see. We'll give you the information, and once that's all said and done, we will send you a text. That information will allow you to have access to the account, password it, and then you are in control from there. I see. You can access this, can't you? Of course we can. But we do find staying neutral is our best term of service. I see. Well, I'll send over 250 million and see about Hawks' claim later. I see. It is a pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Midoriya. Thank you. I'm going to hang up. And Deku does feel a little annoyed. That phone call was about 2 weeks ago. And ever since then, the Todorokis, their faction, they have been touch and go. They are willing to come in for a quick clash, and then they do run off. They're willing to see what they can do about the city. Some of their people do come in and they attack. The Yagis, they try to go out and attack, but the Endeavors, they have the city surrounded by traps. People who they've either turned the ground to a sand or they are trying to figure out how exactly to fight them. It gets weird. Earth bullets or shot, a guy turning sand into a deadly projectile, shit like that. Hell, even someone who appears to have a friend who can turn glass or sand to glass, and another person who can control the wind. A similar attack to Hawks' feathers. But, well, any shards that do strike you, they are tiny, finer, and with the way they melt flying towards you to cool, yeah. Needles. All of them, just needles. And that's bad. People, they're annoyed. But there is the fact that the Nomus, they have not come. Whatever the hell they're doing, it's been either aggressive or slow. They keep getting pulled from one direction of the city to the other, and another. And that's the part that Deku doesn't like. There are some days where he's actually been involved in a conflict. And he's either had to keep his distance because of the abilities, or he can't get close enough because by the time he does start moving to arrive, either something else starts happening or there's talk about troop movement. It's aggravating him. They try to attack at night, too. Try and keep them from sleeping and getting any rest. But when you're that dead tired, you just sleep. And there is today. Deku is currently flying through the air, an earpiece in, and talking about a few different things. Right now, Bakugo, he does gonna move down below. And he does start talking about a few different things. So, exactly what's going on with things up there, we're clear. Just like we were the other day. Asui, we're clear over here. I'm not seeing anything in the distance. Her going to raise her goggles up and go to turn. Right now, her climbing around the side of the building she's on and then going to turn. Leaning backwards and against it, but bring up her hand to lower her goggles onto her face. And she does go to zoom in and look at a distance. Right now, her body phasing into invisibility. So, there's not really much to be seen from up here. You think that they're going to attack today? I don't know. I think so. But their attacks are random. I don't think we're going to be able to predict them. I'm not so sure that they're random, though. Do you think there's a pattern? Maybe. I don't know. It just seems odd, doesn't it? I mean, what was it? During the day, it's north then east, north then east. West is south and west. The next day, it was something like south and then east, south and then east. And then at night, it was north and west. Yeah. It seems like on different days, they keep switching the directions. Not just that, they're sending in different people on different days. You think so? Well, yeah. We had to deal with a battalion of those fire guys the other day, and those fuckers were not fun. Yeah, sounds like it. The other day, we had to deal with some water court guys. Them and some earth guys, too. Huh. That sounds annoying. There was even a guy with a poison cloud. Poison? We don't know. It was just, he was moving in fast and he didn't seem to care. Though when gunfire started, he seemed to care a lot. He tried to retreat, but he also tried to bunker in. Just hold out close to us. The wing guys, yeah. They made sure to try and blow that stuff at us. Though, we got high up and we heard that it might have been mustard gas. Fuck. That's bad. Very much. But he had to retreat. Gunfire will still go through gas. True. True enough. Do any of our guys have masks? The ones who did were fighting back. Though the others didn't. They got killed. That other really fucked up. Ugh. Gross. Yeah, that sounds pretty bad. Though, what can we really do? Him sitting on a rooftop and going to stay kneeling down and looking over at the makeshift walls they've had to improvise for the city and the wasteland outside of them. The city used to be nice. His mom told him about it growing up. It was a better place when she used to live here. But after the turf war with All Might and the city changing hands, the city took quite a while to recover. Hell, those scars are still around today. And then there's today where those scars have been slashed and cut up with more fresher scars. And right now, he does talk about it. He sees something. What do you see? Shit. Something's coming from the east. Report in. I'll go check. Deku boosting off. And right now, he does go flying down. Him hearing the voice of All Might. So, quite an interesting conversation. Uh-huh. You know what you're going to be doing. You seem adamant about going after the Endeavors. Yep. You have anything to say? Deku flying down. And whenever he does go to look down, he does get to see a few different people. Right now, him going to land on a truck. And when he does get to do so, people do get to stare at Deku standing on top of the semi. Him still covered in lightning and staring at all of them. His mask on. And he does it to activate infrared. All of them, their body temperatures are high. Fire quirk guys. Okay. Anyone else? Someone invisible, maybe? He knows Toru runs around invisible, but he can still kind of see her from infrared. Her body still shows up on heat. So, no, the ground doesn't have heat-shaped feet marks, so there's that. So what do these guys want? Danger sense gonna go off. And Deku, he does a leap up into the air and go to flip forwards. Right now him looking behind him and not seeing anyone there. But he does then go to throw his hands up and boost towards the enemy. Then, quite a long one for Deku does send out a sonic boom that can be heard. In Bakugo, he does go leaping down towards the battlefield. Right now, blasting forwards and into combat. And there is Deku. When Deku does come in, he does go to send out a powerful slashing kick. Him going to bring up the blade as it does eject from the back of his leg and slice out towards an enemy. Them being battered across the chest as another person, they do get a turn. Right now, them blasting out towards Deku with a fireball. And he does go to throw his hand down and go to use float, boosting him in the air before bringing his other hand down, using Black Whip to anchor himself to the ground as the person does go to bring up their hand, blasting out fire and going to express. Right now, blasting out spears made of flame towards him. And Deku, he does it to move around. Right now, him hearing up from Bakugo about how he's reported in. Though, if these people are scouts, then that does mean something else might be happening. Keep an eye out for anyone. Deku going to express. Got it. Now, he does a turn back. Right now, him raising a hand and going to send a blast out with air pressure. It flying forwards and punching the person directly in the shoulder. Them roaring on his Deku does come to land. The blade on the back of his leg being pushed back in with the mechanical spring. Now, Deku, when he does it land, he does going to bring his hand down quickly, pulling the blade completely back up and hearing the pop indicating that it has been reset. Before he does go to move to his right and go to throw his hand out. Bakugo blasting out and into the other two guys, sending them flying and crashing to the ground. And he does go to turn, staring at Deku. And Deku, he does go to nod his head. Bakugo talking about it. Right, so there is that. them looking down and out into the burned woods. So, no one else? Maybe not. But this doesn't feel right. What do you mean? Asui going to land, and she does stand up as she does talk about it. Did she miss something? Something's off. How so? The woods are burned. Why would they try and come in this direction? We don't know. Yeah, it's a bit odd. Though, they didn't know we were patrolling, do they? Maybe. There's that, but danger sense going off. Deku yelling duck as he does a move to the ground. And everyone, they do to follow suit. Asui lowering herself down as a bullet does a flying directly through her goggles on top of her head. And he does a turn looking out, as another round does come flying at him. Danger sense going off as Deku does a leaping up into the air. When he does it do so, he does turn one for all, cranking it up to 40. Right now, trying to figure out where the bullet came from. Before it does it arc up into the air, and he is forced to blast himself backwards and away. Danger sense going off again as he does go to watch it fly upwards into his point of view. And go to arc upwards and start arcing away from him. And that, it does surprise him. Deku watching as the bullet does go to fly backwards into the air, and he does go to move. Right on him, putting a building between him and the round. Before he does go to blast down and go to land to the ground. Bring his hand up and going to talk about it. Before he does hear Bakugo and Asui. Right now they've got shots fired. They need help on their side of town. Everything seems to be starting off right here, right now. They have a sniper. And Deku does get a report in. Someone's controlling the bullet. It moves. Keep cover between them and the area it may have come from. He doesn't know where they are. Him glancing around and trying to wait. If danger sense goes off again, he'll leap fast. And they do get a response. Kirishima talking about how he's on his way right now. And a few other people do confirm they're currently heading to their location. And Deku, he does go to activate full Kelling once again and go to leap into the air. Right on him going to throw his foot out and kick. Trying to make sure he does stay below open air. Keep the buildings in between him and he can move down the road, and danger sense going off again. Deku going to blast himself backwards as he does look around. The moment his eyes do move upwards, he does a stare. His eyes going wide as a Nomu does come blasting down from a building and smashing right into him. Deku pushes him away as the creature does a smash into the ground, and the two do go rolling through a car. As Deku does a kick outwards and sends it flying up in the air. It going to spin through the air as it does go to bring its hands up, clapping as the massive boom does send it flying back towards Deku. And it does it crash down, bringing its hands up, slashing out as Deku does it back away. And he does go to watch. The Nomu going to stand and grin with its massive teeth. And he does a back away and bring up his hands. What the fuck? So you're my target. What the actual fuck? What? Surprised? Boss said a lot about you. Dangerous. Fun to fight. Deku staring at the claws on this beast, them retracting into its darkened skin. This thing looks odd. Its body is shiny? No, Nomus have multiple quirks, but do they actually talk? Deku keeping his eyes on it and talking about it. He's got a problem, there's a Nomu over here. A fucking what? Now? They're sending things in. Right, okay. We'll have backup for you soon. Listen, Mirko and everyone, they're on the way. They're not too far out, but we can figure this out. Yeah, sure you can. Listen, if they're willing to arrive here sooner, I'd like that. But I'm kind of on my own. I'll hold out. You'll hold out? Deku going to bring his earpiece up out of his ear and going to slide it into his pocket as he does close it on his belt. And still staring at the Nomu, he does feel a bit odd. Hearing All Might in his ear. Now that's not something I do envy. What is that? The first user does get to say. Him speaking up for the first time in a long time. And what's more surprising, the second does find his way into Deku's ear. This creature. It doesn't appear human. That is an artificial creation. A Nomu. Deku rushing in. And when him and the creature do get to meet, they do a collide fist. Deku, quite surprised over the impact, doesn't blow this thing away. The two collided at 40%. And the air pressure that resulted did blow away everything coating the street. From some of the concrete in the pavement to the windows and the cars. And those currently do start to shower down. Deku being surprised as he does begin to try and throw a barrage of punches, meeting the Nomu as it does go to follow, trying to match Deku's strength for strength. And he is starting to hear them mentally catalog the quirks of this thing. As Deku, he does a retreat. Strength. Shock nullification? That's odd. And, well, claws. That's 3. It talks, too. Do they not talk? It's a high-end Nomu, I think. That or it's got some sort of quirk to allow it to communicate. The lesser creatures don't talk. The smart ones, they sell more, so it's obviously a high-end. Does the kid have a chance? I don't know. I've fought some high-ends before, but depends on how much Endeavor dumped on this thing. From the look of it, I'd say he paid a lot. Though careful, kid, these things have multiple quirks. This reminds me of All for One. Does it? Deku, going to back away as the Nomu, does go to start rushing towards him at amazing speed. And he does go to throw his hands down and go to throw up a kick. Right now the blade in his boot does come sliding up, kicking from the back. And when the Nomu does come in, Deku's a slash into its body and cut into it hard. Right now him slicing through its eye as it does roar out and go to stagger back. Before it does go to blow itself forwards with a foot. And it does a punch out towards Deku. Him spinning in midair as Black Whip does go to smash in the ground and force Deku's body out of the way. Him having Black Whip then wrap around it as Deku does go to come in for the kill, slashing in its throat as the creature it's already beginning to regenerate. Him staring at the wound and the eye that's beginning to regenerate. It's shit. Then on Deku's mind, him blasting away once the Nomu does go to throw out a right hook. And Deku does take the chance to move away with an air burst. Him currently floating in the air as the creature, it does a roar out at him. Before it does go to raise its hackles and raise its head to the sky, letting out a wolf-like howl that does go to pierce his ears. And it doesn't sound good. Right now him hearing radio chatter as people they're talking about what's happening. And it does then go to cut. That confusing means he does go to look down at his radio. Which, yeah, it's still on, but it's getting static? That can't be right. Shit, they really are coming in with the big guns. Him going to think, tossing it towards a building and mentally cataloging where it is. If this thing's as strong as he thinks, then it's going to be troublesome. Him staring the beast down, and it has fully healed its throat, getting onto its feet and spitting out a glob of blood. And Deku does a stare at it, before watching the car it just spit on begin to have acid eat through the hood. And that, yeah, it does begin to pour from the bottom of the undercarriage through and into the actual engine, before spewing out and onto the ground. Good. Another fucking quirk. Lovely. That on Deku's mind. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.